ask for other people's preference, how they want to connect. If you need to catch up with somebody and it doesn't require taking notes or collaborating in a document or reviewing something together in a presentation, maybe you could offer a walk and talk, or maybe it's a video off call versus a video on call.
Welcome to Management Minutes with Mika, where we talk about the government workplace challenges from all different angles. My name is Emily Jervis, and I'm with GovLoop, and I'm here with the woman of the hour, Mika Cross. Mika is, of course, our government and workplace expert, and today she's going to share all about how to design your daily work for well-being. So, Mika, tell me, what are some easy tips for setting boundaries and implementing self-care routines throughout the day?
Building in enough time between meetings is incredibly important, but often we might not have a full 30-minute block to do that. We just simply don't have the luxury of doing it. So even starting small, could you perhaps, with the meetings that you're looking to schedule, start at 5 minutes after the hour? That gives you at least a 5-minute buffer from the meeting that you just got out of to run and refill your water or coffee, take a quick stroll outside if you're working from home, get some sun in your face, or even just stretch for a moment and regroup before the next meeting. That will really go a long way from that Zoom fatigue or meeting fatigue that we hear so much about, especially during working through the pandemic. The other thing you could offer or try is to ask for other people's preference, how they want to connect. If you need to catch up with somebody and it doesn't require taking notes or collaborating in a document or reviewing something together in a presentation, maybe you could offer a walk and talk, or maybe it's a video off call versus a video on call. Could you set up a workflow that enables you to creatively brainstorm and share ideas asynchronously without having to call another meeting and adding that to your plate?
I love that. All right. What are some risks that workers, employees are experiencing right now with how we're currently working, whether that's in person, remote, hybrid? What are those real big risk factors?
Well, the more that we're leveraging technology to really stay connected, there is that risk of, meeting fatigue, and also just that feeling and sense of stress from having to be on and responsive all times, all hours, at any time. And so what happens is there's a risk to being able to really do that, what's called deep work, where you're kind of disconnected from email, you're turning off your chats. And so setting up an office or team protocol around how you wish to work together and inviting your team, if you're a leader, to contribute to how are we going to govern ourselves in this kind of hybrid environment, if that's what you're working in, or in office together. What are we going to do in terms of making work more efficient and less frenetic to feel and experience?
Makes a whole lot of sense. So if I want to counter that, what are some resources in the workplace that employees can lean on to help? And what are some of the services that they offer?
Well, first and foremost, again, I would suggest that you lean on each other. If you're experiencing stress or anxiety around priorities, being able to voice that to your supervisor or your team members to try to problem solve some ways and to think about together, how could you build and set some solutions for dealing with those issues is a great place to start. My hope is that through this experience and some of the things we've talked about in the past, you have a work culture that really embraces feedback and listens. If you're experiencing some roadblocks into, how do you distribute work, you can lean on services like we talked about before, even such as the Employee Assistance Program. You might be surprised that the EAPs are available for things not just personal in nature, but actually work-related in nature. You could also think about talking to the Ombuds program, maybe your union rep, looking to a mentor, either a peer-to-peer mentor or a mentor formally that you might have to get some tips and advice.
I will definitely be checking out those additional resources. Thank you, Mika, so much for sharing your insights. You can follow Mika's management advice on social media. And from GovLoop, thanks so much for joining us.